Star Wars 7x7, episode 2569. Got a little bit of news to follow up on, both on the Emmy side of things and also on the Star Wars Vision side of things. Not enough for standalone episodes by themselves, but together it's a potpourri episode. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, first of all, I gotta keep our studio manager from slicing up cords here. He is rather uppity this evening. How funny. All right, so let's talk about Emmy nomination stuff. So this is partly in regard to The Mandalorian, but not entirely. The site that I had talked about in yesterday's episode that is doing sort of the Vegas odds betting situation for who's going to win various Emmy Awards and whatnot, they're starting to fill out the creative Emmys situation, and so far they've only put in things for, as far as The Mandalorian is concerned, guest actor and music. And amazingly, or not amazingly, but The Mandalorian is the front runner in the music category. So Ludwig Göransson's score is the favorite at this point to win the Emmy Award for Outstanding Music for the Emmys, which is fantastic. That's great. And then on the guest actors side, there are 5 people nominated in the category. And right now, Timothy Olyphant is running in second place, and Carl Weathers is 5th out of 5. It's actually a little disconcerting, to be honest with you, because the person in first place is from The Crown, white guy. Second place, Timothy Olyphant, white guy. And then 3, 4, and 5 are all African-American gentlemen, and it's just, really kind of jarring to see it play out that way. And it may be nothing, right? It may just be utter and complete coincidence, but yeah, still feels a little weird. Anyway, so that's part of the Emmy news. And the other bit of Emmy news is that there's another Star Wars related nomination that we haven't talked about that's not Mandalorian related. That little Simpsons crossover short that was released on May the 4th, which is The Force Awakens from its nap, that has also been nominated for an Emmy Award. But right now it is also running in last place. I think there are 4 nominees in the category, and it is currently favored last in terms of having a chance to win an Emmy. So that's all the Emmy talk for today. Now on to Star Wars Visions, and I saw this via IGN, and I will link to the full article in the blog post for the show's episode at sw7x7.com, and also in the show notes for the episode too. But apparently there was a press conference in Japan to talk about Star Wars Visions, and it had all of the creators of the various animated shorts that are going to be released in September, and they all talked a little bit about what their particular animated shorts are all about. 2 of them are actually set after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, which would be rather remarkable. It's like the first, storytelling of any kind that takes place after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. But that being said, we still don't know, based on the stuff that happened with that Anime Light conference when they initially announced the Star Wars Visions information, whether it's really quote-unquote canon, if you will. And, it's not like I care in the sense that, if it's not canon, I'm not going to watch it, and I don't think you should necessarily feel like that either. It's more just a matter of being able to understand what's official story and what's not official story. And, when you're talking to people about these things, what's an actual story, what's a legend, if you will. It's kind of good to at least understand that. But the fact that they're talking about stories set after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, I think is fascinating nonetheless. One studio that's doing 2 particular shorts, it's Studio Trigger, is doing The Elder and The Twins. The Elder actually takes place prior to the events of episode 1, they say, and it examines the Master and Padawan dynamic in an older setting. And then The Twins, that's the one where we have twins that are on the dark side of the Force, and apparently there's something about them being a new quote-unquote hope, if you will. But it's kind of fascinating in its way, right? The idea of a set of twins being a new hope for the dark side, as opposed to Luke and Leia being the new hope for the light side, right? And the other one that takes place after the events of The Rise of Skywalker is The Ninth Jedi, and director Kenji Kamiyama says that, "I wondered after episode 9, is the galaxy settled into peace? We all love stories of the Jedi and lightsabers, but what became of the Jedi Knights after the movie series? My story is about that." Then there's Lop and Ocho, and I might be pronouncing it in more of a Spanish way. Yeah, sorry about that. That's one that's taking place in between episodes 3 and 4, so the time when the Empire is on the rise, and the description we get is that the Empire's come to a planet where their technology doesn't sit well with the local inhabitants, and there's a daughter of a local Yakuza type of group, and the daughter connects with an orphan slave, and it's about their found family dynamic. And this orphan slave sort of pseudo rabbit-like alien, I guess, is somewhat inspired by Jackson from the way back classic Marvel Star Wars comics, and who has been brought back into the canon by Cavan Scott. Then there's The Duel, which is apparently about an unaffiliated Force user, if you will, to take the phrase that's been introduced in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Somebody who's not Jedi or Sith, but who gets a lightsaber and what they might do with it in an unknown corner of the galaxy that has nothing to do with the events that we're all familiar with. That's what The Duel is about. Or at least that's the big idea of it. The Village Bride is also an unknown corner of the galaxy situation, examining the wedding rituals in that particular part of the galaxy far, far away. And then there's Akikiri, which is a love story between a Jedi and a princess, and the mind kind of goes immediately to Obi-Wan and the Duchess Satine. And I may have mispronounced that. Akakiri, not Akikiri, Akakiri. And it's also a bit of a road story apparently as well. And then TOB1 is the one that's about a droid, and the droid kind of has some inspirations from Astro Boy, that classic cartoon situation. And the droid apparently has big dreams, but it's sort of a coming of age story, a growing up story, and the droid will apparently set those dreams aside for something bigger, quote unquote. And then of course there's Tatooine Rhapsody, which is sort of a crazy rock opera thing that's going to have some established characters in it, and just based on what we've heard about that, doesn't necessarily feel story like per se, more that it's just going to be some great amazing comedic and musical extravaganza for all intents and purposes. And there you go. That in brief is what we learned about Star Wars Visions from this Japanese press conference, and kudos to IGN for a great write-up on that. And there's a lot more in that IGN write-up, and again, I will link to it in the blog post for the show's episode and in the show notes as well. And that is going to do it for our show today. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.